Today I'm going to share with you guys the 3 best European investing and brokerage accounts. How are you guys doing today? My name is Apple Kreider and I make daily personal finance, entrepreneurship, and credit card related videos here on YouTube aimed at high school and college students. And today we're addressing a question that I have gotten a ton, and that is what are some of the best investing and brokerage accounts for our European viewers. Now I get this question a lot and I wasn't super familiar with all the brokerages going on internationally, so I did some research and here are the results. I'm going to share with you guys the top 3 brokerages. I'm going to share with you guys the features offered by each, what the fees are going to be, because there are some very different fee structures present in these different brokerage accounts, and I'm going to share with you guys the pros and the cons to each of them. This might be a little bit of a longer video, so I'll be sure to toss in some timestamps in the description below if you're looking for certain things, because each of these accounts really is best for a certain type of individual. There's not really a one best account for everybody. It really depends on what your goals are and what type of investing you're looking to do, whether it's buy and hold or active trading, Forex, all those different things. There's a best account for each of those, so I'll link those all up in the description as timestamps. So without further ado, let's just hop right into it. So the first one is going to be the best account for the serious investor or the serious trader, and that's because they do have a robust trading platform and access to a lot of international markets. Who is this going to be? This is going to be Saxo Bank. So Saxo Bank is a pretty big just bank in general over in Europe, and they do offer some very intense trading platforms. Again, it's not going to be the cheapest option, but it is going to be best for you if you are an experienced trader looking to do a lot of buying and selling of stocks. So as far as fees go with Saxo Bank, we're looking at pretty mid-range commissions. I didn't take any in the high range with commissions. I really went for the mid and the low because I feel like that's a big priority for a lot of people, especially young people who are going to be watching this video. So this is going to be the highest out of all of them as far as commissions go. But again, out of all the brokerages, this is still in the mid to low range, okay? So it's based on the number of shares that you buy. So if you're from the US, you might not be used to this type of fee structure, but over in Europe, this is a pretty popular way that commissions are structured. So it's based on the number of shares, and the minimum commissions hover around $15 or 12 euros. So again, that's not going to be the cheapest out of the bunch by a long shot, but that's what the minimums are going to be. And then if you buy a really big amount of shares, it's going to go up from there. But again, you do have to have, you have to buy over 750 shares in a trade for it to go over that $15 or 12 euro benchmark. And if you do go over that 750 mark, it's going to be an additional 2 cents per trade. I'm not really sure what the conversion is in terms of euros, but again, it's an additional 2 cents per each share over 750 shares. So again, you're probably not going to run into that unless you're doing huge volume trades at a time, which you're probably not doing if you're watching this video. So there's no deposit or withdrawal fee, which I hadn't really heard of because in the US we don't really have these things, but in a lot of brokerages over in Europe, there are actually withdrawal and deposit fees. So luckily Saxo Bank is not going to charge you any of those. You don't have to worry about putting in a lot of money at once, or taking out a lot of money at once, because there's not going to be a fee associated with that. There is, however, an inactivity fee associated with 6 months of no trading. So if you have bought your stuff and you're just holding it for 6 months, you don't make any trades, you're going to be charged a $100 fee. Now, that's pretty significant for a lot of people, especially young people. So this isn't the best account for just buy and hold. If you're looking to just buy a bunch of stuff and maybe buy once a year or so, like, this isn't the place for you. But if you're doing a lot of active trading, then you're not gonna have to worry about that inactivity fee. Another downside with these guys is there is a very high financing fee. So if you're looking to borrow any money, it's gonna actually be 8% plus the benchmark rate, which right now works out to about 9.5% interest. If you're trying to borrow any money, do any leverage there. So definitely would not recommend Saxo Bank if you're looking to leverage or margin at all. Now, how about mobile? Are they very mobile accessible? They have their own app. It's called Saxo Trader Go, and it's very easy to navigate. It runs very feature heavy and a very intuitive interface. Just from my limited use of it, just to like test it out for you guys. It does run very smoothly. It's nice. It's no Robinhood again. Robinhood is very much like the sleekest thing you're gonna find, the most streamlined, straightforward thing. It's no Robinhood, but I mean it's very straightforward, and you can navigate it very easily. And again, there's the full feature set available on mobile. They don't limit you to only buying and selling or anything like that. You can do all the research and everything on mobile. There are no limits with that, and it is iOS and Android accessible, so you don't have to worry about having the wrong platform there. Now, what kind of things can you invest in with Saxo Bank? Well, you can invest pretty much in anything, okay? You can invest in equities, ETFs, Forex, bonds, options, futures, CFDs, and crypto. So really hits on all the bases there. There's really not anything that you're limited by with Saxo Bank as far as different types of investments go, so that's pretty nice there. There is an account minimum you have to have at least $2,000 deposited. Not sure again the exact transition into euros, probably somewhere around 1,500, I would say. And you can't actually open an account with Saxo Bank if you reside in the US or in certain parts of Canada. It is pretty much limited just to people in the European continent. So if you're over here in the North America continent, then you're not going to be eligible for this account most likely. They do have a lot of good research resources though over at Saxo Bank, just because they're a big institution, guys. That's why these commissions are so high, because they have all these big locations that they have to keep up, and it's just a very big thing. It's not like your discount online brokerage or anything. Like they're a big presence over in Europe. So they do have a dedicated trading site. Actually, it's called tradingfloor.com. If you want to check that out, I'll link it up down below. But they have their own research trading site, which is really, really cool. They have a calendar for actually all of the macro, like stock market events coming up, or any companies that you're interested in. So that's definitely a cool resource for you to take advantage of. They'll just they have this calendar with all the dates mapped out, maybe your earnings calls, all of that good stuff will be in there. They have a bunch of news and research resources, like I said, pretty straightforward. And most of it's geared at traders, actually, not investors. So again, it's really good for traders that are looking to do like serious trading, whether that be with Forex, equities, crypto, whatever. They're a very good place for that. But if you're doing buy and hold, if you're doing anything other than active trading, it's not going to be the best platform for you. But this next one is going to be really good for buy and hold investors. Okay, so they do offer a robo advisor as well. That's called Saxo Select. If you're interested in the robo side, we actually do have a robo advisor near the end. That's going to be number 3. So stick around for that. But Saxo Bank does offer a robo advisor if you're interested in that at all. And you're going to be insured up to 100,000 euros of cash and 20,000 euros of securities, because they're protected by the Netherlands Authority for the Financial Markets. That's the AFM. So you're going to be protected by that up to 100,000 in cash and 20,000 in securities. All right, so that is Saxo Bank. As you guys can see, it's very, again, I keep saying this, it's very geared at the active trader. Next, we're going to move on to where the buy and hold investor is going to want to look. It's going to be number 2, and it's also going to have the cheapest fee structure for your individual investor needs. That's going to be DEGIRO, DEGIRO, DEGIRO. Might be pronouncing that wrong because I'm from America, so not really sure. But as far as low fee brokers go, you've really got these guys and Interactive Brokers in Europe. Those are going to be your 2 biggest guys. But Interactive Brokers didn't make the cut due to they have a more complicated platform to operate and navigate. So these guys really came out on top for the low fee side of things. All right. So what are we talking about with fees? These are going to be the low fee guys. So what are we talking about with fees? So with these guys, there's actually no minimum deposit. You can get started with as little as $100, maybe even $5 if you really wanted to. So no minimum deposit, no inactivity fee. So if you're not trading for 6 months, there's not that $100 fee. So that's really good for buy and hold investing. And there's no withdrawal fee. Again, same thing with Saxo Bank. So again, you can already see there's much lower fees here. And it's really, really cheap for US investments. Like, this part blew me away, guys. So it only costs you 0.5 euro, which equates to about 58 cents US dollars, plus 0.4 cents per share. So just to do some quick math here, you have to buy over 105 shares of a company before that commission goes over $1. So if you were only buying 1 share, that would only cost you 58 cents. And if you were buying 105 shares, that would cost you $1. So these guys have really, really low fees if you're looking to invest in US companies. Now, if you're trying to invest in companies and stocks and equities and bonds and whatever from other countries, maybe countries in Europe, that's gonna be a lot more expensive. So that's gonna start off at about $4, which equates to about 468 US. Plus about 0.04, so 0.04% of the total price. So that's going to be a little more standard as far as other countries go. But if you're trying to invest in US equities, US bonds, US anything, through these guys, that is the way to go in Europe. That is DEGIRO, again, DEGIRO. These guys have the lowest fees around and the best platform all around as well. Now, there is going to be a €2.50 fee per year per market that you want access to. So what does this mean? This means if you want to trade things off of the New York Stock Exchange, you're gonna have to pay a €2.50 fee per year in order to have access to the New York Stock Exchange, okay? So pretty straightforward, and then that's gonna go for all other markets as well. The London Stock Exchange is gonna be the only exchange that is not included there because that one is free. So if you're using DEGIRO, you can freely trade off of the London Stock Exchange without that €2.50 fee, but you are still gonna be paying those commissions, like we said before, about that €4 commission plus about 0.04% of the total price of all of those shares, okay? So one thing that you really have to watch out for as far as fees go with DEGIRO is their manual currency conversion. So if you're looking to manually convert currencies, that's gonna charge you a ton, okay? So on this platform, it's actually gonna cost you €10, which equates to about $11.70, plus 0.02% of the total exchange. So basically you just don't want to do this. It's gonna charge you way more than you need to. And if you just let it do the automatic conversion for you, be sure to have it set to automatic conversions. If you're trying to trade across currencies, make sure that's set up and you'll be fine. The charges there, the commissions there are not so bad, but don't do the manual conversions. Not a good choice there. There is, however, a financing fee of 2.7%, so that's gonna be the lowest of any of these guys, lowest of anybody across Europe, actually. Like we said with Saxo Bank, it was 9.5% financing. Here it's 2.7%, so that's gonna be a really nice place to go if you're trying to employ any leverage in your investing at all. And now there is going to also be another fee. This is, again, an optional fee. It's a €5 fee per month, actually, per exchange that you want real-time trading on. Okay, so what does this mean? This basically means if you want to be trading in real time, if you're trying to do some really intense like trading rather than investing, you're going to pretty much need this because that's how trading works. But you're gonna have to pay €5, which is about $5.85 per month for any exchange you want to actively be trading on. Otherwise, there's going to be about a 5 to 15 minute buffer depending on the exchange. And with these guys as well, there's a really cool feature where you get one free ETF trade per month. So each month, if you want to purchase some ETFs, some shares of an ETF, you can do that for free. Every single month, you get one of these free trades. So that's a pretty nice feature as well. Little bonus that DEGIRO is throwing in for us there. Now, how about mobile? What does mobile look like with DEGIRO? Well, they have an app for iOS and Android. There's a pretty limited feature set, I will say, with the app, just by my limited use of it, again, since I don't live in Europe. Just testing it out a little bit. Pretty limited feature set. You're pretty limited to just buying and selling, but again, that still gets the job done because really what you're doing here is buying and selling. But if you're trying to do all that intense research and stuff, the app is not the place for you, and really neither is DEGIRO because they really have no research tools whatsoever. You're gonna have to go to separate websites for that if you're looking to do any research on your investments. DEGIRO is not the place for you. It's just a place to really buy and sell those. Now, what kind of investments are available to you with DEGIRO? Well, you've really got it all except for Forex. So pretty much everything we mentioned for Saxo Bank, you've got your equities, your ETFs, your funds, your bonds, your options, your futures, your CFDs, and your crypto, but there's not gonna be any Forex trading with DEGIRO. So if you're looking to do that, you're going to have to head somewhere else. I would probably say if you're doing Forex trading, you're probably an active trader. So then you might want to head over to Saxo Bank like we talked about in number 1. But that's just my thought with Forex. I'm not a huge expert in that. Additionally, like I said before, there's no minimum deposit to open. It's a very quick and easy process. They have this promise where it should only take you 10 minutes to open your account. So that's pretty nice. Then you do have to wait usually about 2 to 3 days for that to just finalize and for you to be able to be on your way and trading. Now, it is very hard to change your base currency after you do set up an account. So the way to get around this is to choose the country whose currency you want to be mainly trading on, and open your account through that country's website. Now, if that makes sense, you basically just go to DEGIRO. I don't really know what the endings are for Europe, but you would just go to the whatever country you want to set up with that currency. That's how you're gonna make it work for you, because you want to establish your account on that currency, because trying to change that is not really gonna be very easy for you, just based on all the reviews that I've heard of trying to go through that process with DEGIRO. Now again, these guys are insured by the AFM, so you've got up to 100,000 euro in cash, 20,000 euro in securities is going to be safe for you, so you don't have to worry about that. Don't have to worry about any of that going missing. Now, the last one we're going to be talking about is the robo-investor, and these guys are the biggest robo-investor in all of Europe. They seem like a pretty good way to go, I would say. So we're gonna get right into this. So this is for the passive investor, somebody's looking to get into those robo-advisor things, you know, and it's called ETF Matic. So that's the letter E, letter T, letter F, and then Matic, M-A-T-I-C. Now this is the most widespread and most downloaded robo-advisor in all of Europe. It's available in 17 different countries. Actually, most of the other robo-advisors in Europe are limited to really 1 or 2 main countries. This guy is available in 17, so that's really, really nice. And it's really the nicest app out of any of these that we've talked about so far, just because, I mean, it's not quite Robinhood, but it's very, very easy to navigate. It's a very sleek app, and you're not gonna have any problems doing what you want to do with ETF Matic. Now, they focus on, would you guess it, ETFs, all right? So with nearly $5 trillion globally in ETFs, I think they might be onto something here with their ETF platform. And it's a very good way to get diversification for cheap. Obviously, if you know what ETFs are, they're basically a basket of a lot of different investments, passively managed again, so that's gonna be very cheap. We're gonna talk about fees in just a second here, but ETFs, basically a way to diversify for cheap, and these guys focus exclusively on those, so that is great. As far as fees go, you've got 2 different sets of fees, basically. You've got a 0.48% asset management fee, and this is going to be charged on every investment that you buy. This is just their fee that they're charging, and then you have the fee from the ETF itself. So that's going to be anywhere from a 0.1% to a 0.15% fund management fee. The average falls at about a 0.12%. So on average, you're going to be paying about 0.6% in fees for these ETFs, which, if you're familiar with ETFs, I'd say it's pretty middle of the road. I mean, obviously you've got some of your Vanguard ETFs with like a 0.04% expense ratio, which are quite nice. Some of them might even go down to 0.01% expense ratio. So again, you got a 0.60% expense ratio. Not the greatest if you're talking US investments, but internationally, this is not a bad expense ratio at all. In fact, it's one of the best that I could find out there. So, and the average for robo-advisors in Europe is about 1%, so this is falling almost half of the average right there. So it's pretty nice. I would say it's a pretty good deal as far as robo-advisors go in Europe. And there's no deposit fees, no withdrawal fees, no inactivity fees, none of that at all. This is really good for really any investor that doesn't have a lot of money to pay in fees and that maybe isn't going to be trading super frequently. They just want to do some buy and hold investing in ETFs. This is the spot for you. Now, there is a minimum account balance that you need to open the account. That's going to be only 100 euros or 100 pounds if you are based in Great Britain. So it's a pretty low barrier to entry. Just need 100 euro, 100 pounds. And they do have some special accounts offered here that weren't offered, well, that we didn't cover with the previous guys. I mean, I'm sure Saxo Bank has these as well, but with these guys, you can actually open an ISA or a junior ISA if you're located in the UK. Now, if you're not familiar with an ISA, it's basically an IRA. If you're in the US, that's an individual retirement account. Here, it's an individual savings account. And it just functions pretty similarly to an IRA. If you're not super familiar, there's plenty of resources out there for you to turn to get all your ISA questions met. This isn't the video for that, but I do want to mention a cool perk of ISAs is actually if you keep 5,000 pounds. So if you keep over 5,000 pounds in your ISA, you're actually entered into a drawing, a monthly drawing to win over 1.5 million pounds. So I think that's really, really cool, and that's really cool that the UK is doing this to incentivize people to invest in their retirements. They're offering basically a lottery that you are entered if you keep a certain amount in your ISA. So I think that's a really, really cool thing, and each month they have a drawing for up to 1.5 million pounds. So that's wild, and I think we should totally do it in the US. I know it's definitely not legal, just based on our laws and stuff, but US should definitely get on that because that seems really, really cool. Now, as far as available investments go, would you guess they have ETFs? Okay, so with ETF Matic, you can only invest in ETFs, and I mean, what do you expect? It's a robo-advisor, so that's basically what you get. Anyways, there's really no personalization here, and you sort of do have to stick to these cookie-cutter model portfolios, which Again, if you're just doing some buy and hold, some passive investing, shouldn't be too big of a deal for you. This is really just a good place to get started, get your money working for you, if you don't really want to have to think about it that much. And they also do have some good goal setting tools here to help beginners get started and have some realistic expectations for what their investments might look like over the coming year. So I think that's a really cool feature as well. This is really aimed at the beginner investor that doesn't want to spend a lot of time with their investing and really just wants to do it passively on the side. And again, they have both iOS and Android apps. Also, they do have a Microsoft app, but I'm just like, does anybody use Microsoft phones anymore? Do they still make those? I'm not really sure, but they do have a Microsoft app. Also, they have a simulation account, which I think is a really cool thing. And that is where you can actually invest with no money on the line. So you can basically invest fake money and see how it performs before you actually invest real money, just so you get used to like the volatility of the market and stuff like that. I think it's a really good feature that they're offering, and it's a good way, again, for beginners to get their feet wet without actually having any money on the line and risking themselves making some poor decisions. And the money is held at Barclays and Saxo Bank. Again, these guys are a robo-advisor, they're not an actual bank. So the money is held elsewhere so that it can be insured, and these guys don't have to worry about it because, again, they're not a bank, they're just a robo-advisor. So your money is safe in these other banks, it's insured. Again, you've got that FTA protection. So that is that. Now, those were my top 3 investment accounts. Just to recap, we had Saxo Bank, which was good for the active trader. We had DeGiro, which was good for the buy and hold long-term investor. And then we had ETF Matic, which is really good for somebody who's looking to do some passive investing, maybe some beginners who aren't really looking to do all that research that goes into buying individual stocks. They just want to invest in some ETFs, get some market exposure, get their money working for them without having to think too much about it. Anyways, guys, those are my top 3 best European brokerage or investing accounts. I really hope this video brought you a ton of value. If you're from the EU, if you're from Europe, let me know down in the description below, because I love connecting with my international audience, love hearing from all of y'all. So that is really, really cool to hear from you guys. Anyways, thank you very much for sticking around. I really do appreciate it. If you made it all the way to the end and you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? Smash that subscribe button for more videos like this on the stock market, on entrepreneurship, on credit cards, on all of that good stuff aimed at high school and college students, because we do not get enough of this education taught elsewhere. Anyways, guys, my name is Apple Crider and I make daily videos, so I will see you tomorrow. Hey guys, thanks for checking out the video. If you want to learn more about investing, I've got an entire free online video lecture course down below. Check it out.